Welcome to Scambaiting Emails. Now, I realize many YouTubers begin their videos by urging you to like, subscribe, and share before they get to the good stuff, but I don't do that. But since you mentioned it, if you enjoy or are entertained by this video, it would really help if you'd like it, and if you haven't already done so, if you'll hit the subscribe button. Right now, my modest goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers for two reasons. One is for my ego, but the other more important reason is that when we reach the 1,000 mark, we'll be able to do some additional things here that will add to your enjoyment. And then there's my ego. This scambaiting adventure is brief compared to most of our other videos. I've never seen anyone take this particular approach with an advance fee scam, and it culminates with a surprise ending that I never would have predicted. It all begins with this email with the subject line, Business Inquiry, and it comes from Joe Gab. No, wait, the body of the email says it comes from Abraham Drama from Ghana. Mr. Drama explains that my reason for writing you is about a serious and important discovery of an unpaid contract project to a contractor, now deceased, who executed and completed a contract project for supply and installation of agricultural and industrial equipment in the ministry where I am the new head of the department. I discovered that the contractor did not receive the contract payment before his untimely death. I will give you detail of this proposal when I receive your reply. My plan is to use my position to substitute your name as the partner of the deceased contractor and recommend you as the new beneficiary of the contract fund so that the fund will be released to you for our benefit. I will discuss the sharing ratio with you when you respond and indicate interest to work with me. Don't entertain any fear concerning the legality of the deal, because I have the necessary documents to legally back the transaction. When replying, include your full names and contact info, including direct telephone numbers for quicker communication when necessary. I look forward to your prompt reply. Please reply to my email, and he gives an email address. Best regards, Abraham Drama. Hello, Abe. Thank you for your email of September 13. I regret that it has taken me so long to reply. I don't know if news reports of the horrific hurricane damage here reached Ghana, but suffice it to say, we had horrific hurricane damage here, and internet service has just now, this morning, been restored. I am very interested in your proposal, except that I have no experience with agricultural and industrial equipment. I suppose it is something I could learn, but that would take a while, and I doubt you want to wait that long. I do have lots of experience as a licensed HVM practitioner, but I don't think my HVM knowledge would help very much with agricultural and industrial equipment. Do you have some project I could help with that doesn't require agricultural and industrial equipment? In sincerity, Rob, or as my friends call me, Rob McClenn. Dear Rob, thanks for your reply, though delayed, but it's better late than never. And let me use this opportunity to express my profound sympathy to you and people of Florida for the devastating hurricane we saw the news here. With regard to my proposal to you and the issue of experience in agriculture and equipment which you raised, you don't need any form of experience in agriculture or anything for the role and in the transaction. Now, those first two paragraphs were written from scratch by our friend Abe in response to issues I raised in my reply. After addressing those issues, he reverts to the copy and paste boilerplate pitch that no doubt he prefers to use because copying and pasting is a lot easier than thinking and actually committing his thoughts to writing. How do we know where his ad-libbing ends and the copy and paste text begins? Well, that's pretty easy because the copy and paste uses a different font. I want you to know that your participation is of immense importance to the successful conclusion of this transaction. This is why 40% of the total fund will be for you at the end of this transaction. But the first step is for you to receive the whole money in your account. Please note that there is absolutely no risk involved in this transaction because it will be handled legitimately as every document is in place. The total amount involved is $27.5 million. $27,500,000. And then there's the rather verbose clarification. The contract payment fund in question belongs to one Mr. John Bernström, now late. He is from Sweden. It was unfortunate that he died before his contract payment was approved in February 2004. Since then, all efforts to locate any of his relatives proved unsuccessful till date. His payment receiving file has no registered business partner or next of kin, so the contract payment now has an open beneficiary mandate to the person, myself, with the true information concerning him and the contract supply. The reason I am contacting you is that I will use my position as the head contract payment committee to present and recommend you as the business partner to Mr. John Bernstrom so that this contract payment will be released to you since he has no other registered business partner or next of kin left. Procedure. Once I receive your full information, I will use them to update the payment receiving file, PRF, of late John Bernstrom in your favor as the deceased business partner. Like I said, this will automatically put you in the position as the rightful beneficiary of the fund and the business partner to the deceased, and thereafter I shall make a payment recommendation to the Debt Payment Department in your favor. Debt Payment Department, DPD, is the committee set up for foreign debt payment. I always thought DPD stood for Dependent Personality Disorder, or it could stand for DPD Group. Then upon completion of the updating process, I will send you an application which you will fill out and send to the Debt Payment Department asking for the release and transfer of the fund to your account. Then your file will be treated officially. To enable me update the file, you need to send me the following. 1. Your full names and address. 2. Your company name. Meanwhile, to demonstrate my transparency and trustworthiness in this business, I have attached my passport to identify myself, and I expect you to do the same. And please note that every piece of information regarding this transaction would have to be handled with utmost trust and confidentiality. I would like you to tell me more about yourself. Because of the sensitivity of the transaction and my position, because I cannot be linked to the transaction in any form or manner, I will check if the phone number I use when I travel to London can work on WhatsApp here. If it does, I will request for your WhatsApp phone number so we will be communicating only through WhatsApp when there is the need. I look forward to your prompt reply. Best regards, Abraham Drama. And he includes a copy of his passport to prove, I don't know, something or other. Hello, Abe. Thank you for your expressed sympathy for the victims of the hurricane. In times like these, every little bit of financial, emotional, or moral support helps more than most people could imagine. Also, thank you for the additional information. This sounds like an unusual and exciting opportunity. I do have a few questions to help clarify in my mind exactly how all the details coalesce. I am sure these questions will seem naive to you because you already know the answers. On the other hand, all of this is new to me, so at this stage I understand less of it than you do. Of all the people you could have contacted, literally hundreds around the world, what led you to choose me? Was I recommended to you by some mutual acquaintance or business associate? Is what we'd be doing legal? I mean, I know you said this transaction will be handled legitimately with every document in place. Why is it that you cannot be linked to the transaction in any form or manner? I don't want to do anything that might get you, or me, in trouble. Please understand, I am not questioning your credentials or knowledge or professionalism or anything. I am only trying to understand some of the finer points of our arrangement. Where does the other 60% of the $27.5 million, $27,500,000 go? Will there be any cost to me? The hurricane and flooding and everything has put me in what you might call a difficult financial situation. That was my first signal to Abe that I might not have enough money to make his scamming efforts worthwhile. Abe had asked me to tell him more about myself, so I did. It's always kind of awkward talking about yourself, have you noticed? I've been an HVM for 40 years, specializing in treating equines. I think my number one trait is my honesty, which I've always thought is a very good thing to have, as well as a good thing to look for in the people I have dealings with. You'd be surprised at some of the shenanigans some of my HVM clients have tried to pull over the years. Obviously, I'm talking about the people who own the equines, not the equines themselves. Here's the information you requested about me. My full name and address, Rob McClellan, 901 North Lakeshore Boulevard, Lake Wales, Florida 33853. I don't have a company name, so I'm leaving that part blank. I think that's everything you said you needed from me. What is our next step? Dear Rob, thanks for your email. Below are my answers to your questions. You asked what led me to choose you to contact. I have always liked to live or own property in Florida, so I Googled for people in Florida, and your name was among the 15 names that I got, and I decided to be sending the emails to each of you, one every week. Out of the 3 I have sent, one is a student, and the other one did not reply. You also asked if what we'd be doing is legal. I won't say it is legal, but the money does not belong to anyone because the original contractor is no more and has no traceable next of kin. My name will not be linked to the transaction because that's where I work. I won't say it is legal is a brilliant trust-building response. A scammer would simply say, oh sure, it's 100% legal, which actually is stated in the boilerplate copy, which obviously wasn't written by Abe. I won't say it is legal implies it's kind of a gray area. Technically, I'm not sure, but... And here he offers a rationalization, which is what we humans do all the time. We rationalize our behavior even when that behavior might technically be against the law. In response to my question, what happens to the other 60%, he responds simply and without hesitation, 40% is for you and 60% for me. He doesn't get defensive, isn't upset by my question, gives me a straight answer, and when I ask if there will be any cost to me, he replies, at the moment, I don't know. So he's leaving open the question of whether there will be any cost to me. He's not evading it, he just doesn't know yet. Hello, Abe. First, my sincere apologies for the delay in my responding to your most recent email. This past week has consisted of my acting as my own beast of burden as I schlep buckets of water and piles of shredded, waterlogged wood out of what's left of my house. I think I mentioned the hurricane already, and filling out a ridiculous amount of paperwork as I apply for an emergency government start-me-up loan. In my experience, some people don't read their emails very closely, which sometimes causes me to have to re-ask a question I already asked earlier, but which hasn't been answered, causing me to have to ask it again. Please accept my compliments regarding the way you answered my probably naive-sounding questions so promptly and so fully. I really appreciate it. If you've always liked to own property in Florida, I'm afraid there's lots of land now available at bargain prices because of the devastation left in the wake of Hurricane Ian. Is there any particular part of Florida you're particularly interested in? Regarding the is it legal question, if I correctly understand the situation, no rightful heir can be located, so no person is being deprived of what is rightfully his or hers, yes? That seems fair to me. I can see why you would keep 60% of the funds. After all, if it weren't for you, this entire operation wouldn't be happening at all. So, what is our next step? Hello, Rob. I was worried because of your delay, but your explanation is well understandable. The next step will be for me to start from Monday to be inputting your particulars in all the related departments as the partner of the original contractor. When I'm done with that process, I will send you sample of the application you will send to the contract payment demand for the request of payment. I need your passport as mode of identity and your phone number. Please send them to me. Hello, Abe. I have attached a copy of my passport. My phone number is, and I give him a phone number. If I'm not available to answer, please leave a voicemail. Hopefully, someday soon, life will return to normal, and I won't be spending every waking moment cleaning up the post-flood debris, hauling it away, trying to borrow money to fix and replace things, waiting forever in government offices, for example, FEMA, etc. Until then, though, I'm pretty hard to reach by phone, but much easier in person. And here's a copy of my passport. But wait a moment. I just discovered that in my previous email to you, I made a typo in my phone number. The correct number is, and I include the corrected phone number. I am embarrassed at not being able to type my own telephone number into an email, and I apologize for the confusion. I hope you receive this before you've tried to call me. Whoever has the incorrect phone number I previously gave you isn't me, and I'm sure would be quite confuddled to receive calls asking to speak to me when they've never even heard of me. Hello, Rob. The typo error and correction have been noted and observed. I will start the process of inserting your particulars in all the related departments, and I will update you on the progress. Hello, Abe. Do you have any idea how long the process will take? Abe replies, I don't know for sure how long it will take, but I don't expect it to be long because it is my office that will make the payment recommendation, but that will be after I have inputted your particulars in all the related departments as the partner of the original contractor and the beneficiary. So far, I am still going on with the inputting of your names in the related departments. I will inform you when I am done doing that. However, find attached the particulars of the contract in question in case you are contacted for any of them. And Abe attaches 3 very official-looking documents, including a contract completion certificate issued to a Mr. John Bergstrom of Sweden, an official identification card proving that John Bergstrom of Sweden is an official contractor, and, sadly, an official death certificate for John Bergstrom of Sweden, who apparently died tragically in a plane crash on the day after Christmas. Obviously, that's terribly sad, but imagine how much worse it would have been if that plane had crashed on Christmas Day. I mean, I'll bet that would have ruined the entire holiday for those members of his family who didn't also die in the plane crash. I guess a government bureaucrat is accustomed to dealing with so much paperwork, but I can't help but feel kind of guilty about adding to it. Hello, Abe. Okay, I'll try not to distract you with unnecessary emails unless it's really necessary. My apologies for needlessly interrupting you with my previous email. Abe, however, doesn't want me to feel guilty. Dear Rob, you don't need to apologize. You are free to send an email and ask questions anytime. I am not offended in any way. Meanwhile, I made an in-depth inquiry from the contract payment department to know how long it will take after the payment is approved from my office. I was told that it is done immediately, but my worry is that they said the beneficiary will be invited or be represented by a local lawyer to represent him or her. When I asked if there is payment involved, and I was told that if the beneficiary is represented by a lawyer, the lawyer will have to pay fees in the Ministry of Justice, where all the documents relating to the payment will go through affidavit and notarization, they said the fees is usually between $4,500 to $5,500. I have a problem with this information because you already said that you don't have money, and I don't have such money either. I think instead of us stopping midway, maybe we should stop now. Let me still search for someone who I can use, unless you have a close confidant who will be able to pay the fees so I can stop using your name and use his or her name. Please, I need your prompt response because I am stopping the process until I hear from you. When have you ever heard that from a scammer? More likely, you've had the experience of telling a scammer you don't have enough money for the fees and having the scammer either yell at you, telling you to borrow it from someone after all the work he's invested, you owe it to him, or yell at you for having wasted his time, or cease communication with you in order to concentrate on other potential victims. Instead, Abraham politely says he doesn't want to waste my time and asks me to confirm that I agree he should search for someone else who will be able to pay the fees. Fortunately, I think I've hit upon a perfect solution. Hello, Abe. Thank you for advising me of the unexpected roadblock that we weren't expecting. I wish I knew a close confidant who could lend me that kind of money. Because you've said Mr. John Bergstrom had no business partner or next of kin, isn't it very unlikely that one will suddenly pop up? If I understand correctly, and it's entirely possible I am overlooking some vital factor, Why don't we just plow ahead with haste and complete everything so quickly that even if a next of kin or business partner turned up, they wouldn't be able to do anything because everything else has been completed? If you combine the fact that so far no one else has claimed the money with the speed with which we act, it sounds as though we'd be pretty safe from someone else showing up. As the French say, in French, I am translating it to English with the help of Google, I didn't go to the picnic because I was afraid it would rain. I should have asked myself, what happens if it doesn't rain? What if I come to Sweden immediately and apply in person? I have enough frequent flyer miles for the airline trip, probably on SAS. They're not fancy, but they almost always can get you there. That could even be their slogan. It certainly is better than their current one, Scandinavia starts at takeoff. I'm pretty sure every airline starts a flight by taking off. If I can find someone who will let me stay at their place a couple of nights, I could go to the contract payment department in person and sign all the documents. I don't know what I would do for food, but I'm sure I'd think of something once I was there. If you wouldn't mind picking me up at Arlanda Airport, we could complete the entire process immediately. What do you think? Dear Rob, I appreciate your understanding of the need to quickly complete the process, whereas it is good to do that, but it will pose a problem if after all the long while nobody has shown up to apply for the payment, then we apply and stop the claim because of the fee, since we don't have the money for the fee. Regarding your suggestion to fly to Sweden to sign the documents, we have no business in Sweden, but in Ghana. Mr. Bernstrom is from Sweden, but the contract was done in Ghana, and that is where it is being processed. So if you can travel down to Ghana, I will proceed with the process, though I would mostly prefer representation by a lawyer to avoid complications here. Let me know what you think. Hello, Abe. I checked, and SAS cannot fly me to Ghana with my air miles. What do you recommend we do now? Dear Rob, the available option for us is a Ghanaian lawyer representing you, but the problem is the money involved. If you don't have anyone you trust, whom we can use as a replacement for you, and you don't have the money, just as I don't, we may have to stop so I can look for someone else. Hello, Abe. I wish I knew someone I trust whom we could use as a replacement for me. Some wealthy friend who comes from old money, or some rich girl who could step in to act as our undercover angel and swoop in with an emotional rescue for us. But if I know someone like that, I can't imagine who it would be. My mother always used to say, you have to be a fool to cry over things that go wrong, and I suppose this is an appropriate time for me to remember and pay heed to her wise words, even though, to be honest, she was wrong about plenty of things too. So I guess we've come to the end of the line. I want you to know that although ultimately it wasn't successful, I've enjoyed our brief partnership. If you ever find yourself coming to Florida, let me know in advance and I'll make plans to show you all the sights, except for all the hurricane damage, which I hope will be cleaned up before you get here. Until then, I wish you success in finding a new partner with better resources than I. And thank you for thinking of me in the first place. Thank you, Rob. I wish I could afford to pay the bill so we could finish it together. Unfortunately, I can't. I enjoyed the relationship, despite being short, and hopefully we will keep the friendship. I will surely contact you in advance before I come to Florida, because if I am able to find a person that will collaborate with me to conclude the transaction, I will certainly come to Florida for the property I told you about. Until then, goodbye, and all the best. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel so you'll know whenever I've added a new Scambaiting email video. If you'll be kind enough to comment below on your reactions to this video, I promise to make sure Rob sees it. It's been an honor to share this Scambaiting adventure with you. In sincerity and on behalf of Rob McClellan.